All right.
Go.
Go ahead.
Alright, so we the understand behind the resolution that Emmanuel Wallerstein's World Economic Model best explains the world's economy since 1850. Really quickly, Wallerstein's dependence theory basically states that all regions are split into four basic categories: the core, the periphery, the semi-periphery, and the external. And we'll explain examples of each.
Okay, the core are the countries, the industrialized capitalist countries on which peripheral countries and semi-peripheral countries depend. Core countries control and benefit from the global market. They are recognized as wealthy nations and have a wide variety of resources and are in a favorable location to many other states. They have strong state institutions, a powerful military, and powerful global political alliances. An example of a core country is the United States, who has the world's largest national economy. Their GDP is rising along with their military power amongst the world. They have the seventh highest wealthiest nations in the world. And Sudeep?
So other examples are Japan and Germany. Japan is the third largest economy, fourth largest exporter, and fourth largest importer. They switched from their feudal system to an industrialized state by going through the Meiji Restoration, and it's achieving a rapid growth as population is increasing. And also Germany is the fourth largest economy, second largest exporter, third largest importer, and has a high labor force, large capital stock, and low level of corruption. Also, their agriculture only accounts for less than 1% of their GDP, so while their industry accounts for 28%.
So there are also semi-periphery, which are between core and periphery. These areas represent either core regions in decline or peripheries attempting to improve their relative position in the world economic system. So some of them are rising and some of them are declining. So some of the rising ones are Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Brazil, under colonial Portuguese rule, exported agricultural products, but now is moving to a mixed economy and making footwear and other commodities that can ship out. So they're improving their economy. And Russia, likewise, has improved the economy and shifted ideology to a more open, assertive system. India also is developing into a market economy. So it incorporates village industries as well as their service industries. And China is also improving, relying largely on a large labor force. So,
Okay. Declining countries are Spain, Portugal, and Greece. Spain used to be core, but now has a mixed capitalist system, and it's building too many houses. There are wage cuts, lack of spending, and lack of investment. And there's no foreign revenue, which is decreasing its economy. Greece, which is also in the middle of a huge debt crisis, used to be core when it joined the EMU, but was treated as a periphery within the EMU, and it's a semi-periphery globally because it connects core countries from the EMU to periphery countries globally because it has the 12th largest merchant marine fleet, but it has a negative 4.5 GDP growth, which is shrinking its economy. And then Portugal is a receiving and sending country in the global migration system, which serves as a connector between core and periphery.
Okay, so the periphery countries have weak central governments or are controlled by other states. They export raw materials for the good of the cores, and they provide cheap labor for the cores. Two examples are Chile and Haiti. Chile, copper provides for 1/3 of government revenue, which is a raw material exported out to other countries. Fruit, paper pulp, and chemicals such as lithium are also popular raw material exports. Haiti, agriculture makes up a full 25% of the GDP, and only 16% is down to industry, which is in contrast to Germany, which is 28.1% industry, and that's a core. It's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, with a shocking 80% of people under the poverty line, but they export raw materials for the use of the core countries, such as coffee, cocoa, and oil.
And so, as you can see, we have shown how that all different countries of the world fit into each of these categories that Wallerstein has set up for our model. And then there are two models that could be counter-arguments to this model, but there are flaws in them. One of them is the Malthusian model, which says that each time new technology increases the efficiency of production a little, the population grows, and then extra mouths eat up the surplus, and average income will fall back to its former level. And so he's just saying that it will go up and down constantly. But to prove that this is wrong, you can look at the Industrial Revolution, which in this, the efficiency of production at last accelerated, growing fast enough to outpace population growth and allow average incomes to rise.
I think we're done.
Wallerstein's model is incorrect in this economy as of 1815. So it is incorrect because the global economy has moved less into individual capitalist economies that relate between each other and more into economies that have multinational corporations independent of countries. So you cannot consider one country core because, say, Apple Corporation has a subsidiary there when they have subsidiaries all around the world. Okay? Julie?
So going along with Peter's idea is Friedman's idea that the world is flat. And this is just a way of viewing the world as a level playing field in terms of commerce, where all competitors have an equal opportunity. So historical and geographical divisions are becoming irrelevant. So globalization has changed the core economic concepts, which is due to the convergence of personal computers with fiber optic microcables with the rise of the flow of software. So this means that companies in China and India can provide typists and call center operators, accountants, and computer programmers, which are integral parts of the global economy. And also outsourcing and offshoring has led to a competitive world where every country has the opportunity to contribute relatively equally to the global market.
As you've probably gathered by now, we are arguing that not every country fits into Wallerstein's model, and this can be seen through many countries of the world, especially Australia. The export goods of Australia, specifically raw materials, education, and machinery, are approximately the same amount as the imports. They export and import roughly the same amount, and because they have a strong central government, they could probably be seen as a core country in Wallerstein's model, but the fact that they export and import the same amount, it could also be seen as a periphery, so there's not one specific category that they can be put into.
Brazil is also an example because its exports are like transport equipment, machinery, steel, but then also coffee, iron ore, soybeans, and they export both raw material but also machinery, and so they're not core nor periphery.
And they're neither semi-periphery either because they're one of the largest economies in the world.
Yeah, and it's pretty stable as it is, so it's not or down.
All right, so the countries such as U.S. and other major empires in the world are using these semi-peripheral countries such as India and others to fill job slots, and this supports the other countries' economy, such as India. So most of the job slots for things such as Apple and entire companies are based in these peripheral countries, which support their own economies instead of the U.S.'s and such as Europeans.
Well, part of Wallerstein's argument is that core regions benefited the most from the capitalist world economy, but if you look at Saudi Arabia, it's not true because they're not a core, yet they are the home of the world's most valuable privately owned company, which is Saudi Aramco, which is an oil company. And this is directly a result of the capitalist world economy.
$417, marked in the books, $419 actually.
Yeah, that's like your past 19.